McKinnon didn't set out to conquer the world of food. She began her career making salads in her tiny home kitchen and delivering them to happy customers by bicycle. But that led to a self-published cookbook that became a cult sensation in her native Australia. And then came 3 more, including her latest, that shows us how to turn produce from our local market into amazing Asian creations.
So, I mean, what I love is like really focusing on everyday vegetables.
Walk through Hetty McKinnon's local farmer's market. What are we looking for?
We're looking for broccoli.
Okay. And you get a feast for the eyes. Now that's a good piece of broccoli. Sense for the soul. We still have peaches.
I think I'm going to get some peaches.
And a feeling that even in the heart of Brooklyn, you can taste a bit of her ancestral homeland. This food writer and self-described home cook wants to show people the basics of Chinese and Asian cooking without all the fuss. It's the basis of her latest cookbook, To Asia with Love, and the reason we're sharing a seat at the table.
When we ate, my mum would call us to the table with the words sik fan.
Sik fan means?
Sik fans, eat rice.
Eat rice.
It's like that in many Asian cultures. The rice is the sacred ingredient on the table.
And at her mom's table, precision was key.
So you had to have a good command of your chopsticks, and we would eat every single rice kernel before we left the table.
So how am I doing?
You're doing okay. Dig in there. Dig in there, Michelle.
And dig in we did, to a traditional Cantonese banquet based on her mother's recipes and McKinnon's vegetarian habit.
Some of these things are exactly how my mum would make. Like, this is actually my mum's recipe, the mapo tofu. It's a vegan version. You know, the original version has the ground pork. So my mum actually started helping me veganize or vegetarianize the dishes that she knew I loved. The potato and chive omelette is naturally vegetarian anyway. It was one of her quick meals growing up, and it's so comforting. Potatoes and eggs that run through a lot of cultures.
That's like scrambled eggs and hash browns.
Basically, right?
There is also a Japanese-inspired miso roasted eggplant, stir-fried potatoes with salt and vinegar, a nod to British chips, green beans dressed with fermented soybeans.
My youngest actually says, I want to stop, but I can't, when he eats those green beans.
Every mother's dream.
Exactly.
And another Asian staple, bok choy.
A dish I call restaurant greens. So, you know,
it's beautiful, by the way.
Isn't it beautiful? And my mum taught me how to make it with, she puts a little bit of oil and sugar in the water that you blanch it, and it just keeps the greenness. So the vibrancy of the colour is really important. The other thing about these types of dishes, you know, a reflection of me growing up in 2 countries and kind of bringing together those 2 influences, you know, the third culture.
That third culture notion came after what McKinnon calls an identity crisis.
I was born in Sydney, Australia. I grew up being very much caught between the 2 cultures. You know, at home, my mum built this very Chinese household. We spoke Cantonese at home. We ate like this every night. We celebrated. She lit incense every morning at her altar to pay respects to her elders, and we celebrated all the customs. But as soon as I left the front door, I wanted to be Australian.
Did you feel that sense of shame almost?
Yeah. I didn't want people to ever hear me speaking Cantonese. I didn't even want to admit that I could speak a different language until I started cooking, which was really only 10 years ago. I really fell into a career in food, and it was like reclaiming, you know, who I am, reclaiming my culture. And so the recipes here that you see before you are like me saying, I'm really proud of who I am, and as a mother that I can bring that to my children.
McKinnon's interest in food has taken her through family, community, and neighborhood, themes of her popular cookbooks and articles she's written over the last decade. It even led Hong Kong restaurant Vita to ask her to create a vegetarian menu.
They didn't want a traditional Chinese menu, but I got to do things like a soba noodle salad with my ginger scallion oil, which is what I call my mother sauce. It was an incredible experience going there and being asked to do that.
Validating, I would assume.
I felt like it was imposter syndrome when I was there because I was in a kitchen training proper chefs. I don't call myself a chef, I'm a home cook. I didn't go to cooking school or anything, but more importantly about that trip, wow, it was incredible to go back to the smells and the sounds that I remember from childhood.
Which drives her desire for those outside the culture to access it, especially during a time that has been fraught with hate crimes against Asian Americans.
I had to go back within myself and confront those feelings of having this book that says love and then there's hate. So it's been a very interesting year to release that book. I could never have known. It resonated with so many people and people felt comforted by the stories. And to me, that's all I want out of all the food and all the stories that I create is for people to feel that comfort. Yeah, this is what I call an umami bomb. It's an umami bomb.
The kind of comfort that can only be created around a table by blending the old with the new.
There seems to be a bit of rebelliousness in some of these recipes.
Yes. The dumpling chapter, I was very proud of this, Michelle. It's dumplings by the season. So the idea behind it is you could go to the market, whatever vegetables are in season, and you could turn that into a dumpling.
Anything you want.
I was like, yeah, beetroot, that could go in a dumpling. Brussels sprouts, that could go in a dumpling. I do a lot of things like that, which are not traditional. It is probably my way of rebelling against the tradition that my mum presented to me. So it's fun.
It's you.
Yeah, it's me.
And I just wanted to show you.
Oh, you're good.
Darn.
I was so impressed.
Here we go. There we are.
There we go.
Cheers. And really, she says it's her mission to teach folks it's so easy. I mean, there are these quick and simple recipes that you can follow that get you to the end result that a lot of people think, oh, it's too meaty. Asian food is too hard to make. It's so intimidating. She says not so.
It's the chopstick pea cheer.
Yeah, you like that, didn't you?
You did well. I was
Good
very
job.
impressed with the chopstick skills.